Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you don't mind, I would like to wait another 1 to 2 minutes because attendees are still signing in. Thank you. Let's give it a start. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Karel Poepaert, for those who do not know me. I'm Business Development Manager for Dell EMC at Tech Data in Belgium. I will be joined by Tom Lambrechts, our technical consultant, one of our two technical consultants. Today, let's have a look. First of all, let me give you some housekeeping rules. So everybody is on mute. This will make it easier, I think, to do the presentation. However, we would like to hear your feedback and comments. So for this, you can use the questions and answers box. We will try to monitor it, and if we see questions, we will come back to it or decide afterwards how we can come back to you on a more convenient way if this format is not the best way to answer the question. The session is recorded or will be recorded, so be aware of this. On the other hand, if you have to leave sooner, you will be able to look at the recording later. So what are we talking about today? Well, this is it. We are talking about the SC series storage devices, also known as compellent. A whole family from the small SCV, and there's an SCV3 even. This is an old slide I used, up to the SC9000. And the most important message is that those of this family will become end of life. If you want to have some more details, this is it. So here you see the milestones of this end of life status, where in February Dell announced the end of life status. And as you can see here in yellow, the final last date of ordering for an SC product will be on August the 15th this year. So there's a couple of months to go. However, although the main systems will go end of life and the last order date will be August the 15th, you will have another 3 years to order expansions or components for the systems. As you can see on the third line, this will be open for order intake until August 15th on 2024. And then after this, you will see that the system will become out of support, standard support. For the larger systems, this will be in 2026. And for the SCV 3000 series, this will be in 2028. What does it mean? That after this period, for a period of 5 years, you will be able to get support, but this will not be included in the standard support. This means that you will have to buy an additional support to support the system beyond the life cycle of the system. So this is the timing. August is the end of life. So we highly encourage not to propose any SC systems anymore to new customers or new systems anyway, but look at alternatives. So that's the call of action. Maybe you will have to look at your installed base, and I've contacted some of you already with information we received from Dell EMC indicating where you have systems installed, but we have far from all systems who are installed. So we would like to encourage you to have a look at your installed base. Maybe get in touch with your contact, with your end users, and talk about the end of life status, and then of course work with your customers to look at a Dell EMC tech refresh. Now, having said this, and then I will hand over to Tom. Tom will give us a overview on the refresh technologies, sorry, which you can use. And then in the second part of the presentation, I will come back and I will discuss more in detail different programs, migration programs, which are available, which were made available by Dell EMC, and who you can leverage on to do or to offer those tech refresh solutions.
Okay. Hello. So my name is Tom Lambrecht. I was already introduced by Carol, so that's already done. If you look in at all of the storage portfolio in perspective, now this is an overview. So you can see on in the bottom we have the entry level PowerVault system, and then you if you go more up to mid-range, you come to Unity XT systems, and then next to that is you've got the Powerster, and high level, high end storage. You end up on the PowerMax systems. The PowerMax we will not go into detail today, but we will talk about the differences between the bottom three types of storage. So if we look at the compellent, the SC series, the majority of the customers now using SC, they use functions like federation, they use the tiering option. Live volume is an important one. So how do you replace that kind of functionality? So if you look at live volume, for instance, we've got the Metro nodes now, which are available for Powerster and Unity XT. If you look at the federation option, where you can have multiple systems next to each other in a more like cluster setup, you can do the same thing with the Powerster. Powerster can scale out. And tiering, yeah, tiering. If we move to all flash storage, there is no need anymore with tiering. And if we look at price competitiveness, we can counter that with the smart value bundles, which are available together with the deal registration. It will give you the best price you can have. So if you put all the storage next to each other and we look at the pricing level and look at the SC compellent range, you can see in the bottom, like the SC V3000 series, if you need to replace that with a similar performing storage, you will have to look into a Powerster 1000, which is at this time the smallest one, but there will be another one available as well. And more likely you will end up with a Unity XT model if you look at the same pricing level. So, but if you need hybrid, of course, then you are not looking anymore at Powerster. You're more looking at a Unity XT on the PowerVault. So yeah, you need to put the systems next to each other and if you want to see what is the best system to replace the current system, this is a good slide to help you get started with this. If we talk about Powerstore, first of all, maybe I need to begin with the news that is from June the 10th. A Powerstore 500 system will also be available, and it will be more like an entry-level Powerstore. So before that, we had the Powerstore 1000, which was the entry model of Powerstore, and then it will go up to until the 9000 series, where there's the only difference between the 1000 and the, let's say, the 9000 series is actually the CPU and the memory, which you can add in, which is added in the system. The other specifications are the same, so you can do about the same things with it, but only you get a more performing system. So all functionality is actually the same. Now, if you already followed some presentations about Powerstore, then you would also know that you have two types of Powerstore systems. You've got the Powerstore unified system, which is actually a system which will offer you block storage, which will offer you a file level storage, but also vvols. But you also have an X model, and the X model is actually a hypervisor model, which you get a Powerstore virtual Powerstore in the system, and you can run a VMware workload directly on the Powerstore system, which is a very important feature for some customers, because then you can offload virtual machines, which are very storage demanding, straight onto your storage system. There is a difference between the T and the X, of course, because the X model with the hypervisor, it will not be able to offer you enough functionality in the box like the T can. So the Powerstore T is a unified system. The Powerstore X is a hypervisor system. And actually, it comes with software, it's apps on, and it actually means that you can offload applications or virtual machines to the box. That's a bit of the difference between both of the systems. Now, at this moment, with the current release of software, I already told that Powerstore also offers an alternative for federation. Actually, a Powerstore is scale up and scale out storage, which means that you can add disks like you can do to any kind of storage, but you can also add extra appliances and make up a cluster. So you can add, you can combine up to 4 appliances into one cluster. And that was only possible at this moment with the Powerstore T model. But now with the new release coming up, you will also be able to do that with X models. So that will make it very interesting, of course. Now on the 10th of June, the Powerstore 500 will also be available. And the Powerstore 500 is a bit different from the other models of Powerstore because it offers you 25 disks, which are all available for data storage. While the other systems, they have some dedicated disks for write caching, storage class memory disks in the back. So you can only have like 21 disks available in the base unit for data storage. Now with the Powerstore 500, you get 25 slots available for data disks. You don't have the storage class memory disks. And also important to know is that at this moment, it is not possible to add expansion enclosures to the Powerstore 500 model. The only advantage, of course, is the fact that the Powerstore 500 is an all-flash system, an NVMe system, and it offers, as the all older systems, the 1000, 3000 and up, they offer like inline always-on data reduction in the box, which is offloaded from the CPU and the RAM using Intel Quick Assist. So actually, the process of deduplication is actually offloaded from CPU and RAM, and that actually benefits the performance of the system. So it's a really nice step forward with Powerstore 500 for Belgian customers, I think. Because the Powerster 1000, yeah, the price perspective, the pricing is sometimes a bit too high for the smaller customers. Combining with the right deal registration and the smart value bundle, the pricing will be better, but some customers still find it too expensive, and then they need to look at other to look at alternatives actually for Powerstore. So another, yeah, sorry.
I have a question for you. The question was in regards to Powerstore 500. Will it enable, or is it on the roadmap, a synchronous replication and metro cluster?
I'm not sure about that yet. I didn't see anything on the roadmap for that. So not yet, I suppose.
Okay.
Metro is available for all the systems, so also the 500 should be available for Metro nodes. I will talk about Metro later, by the way. So maybe that's also already half of the answer. Maybe we'll need to note this down and look it up to see if sync replication is coming up, because that was my next point actually. You need to look at the fact that at this moment only asynchronous block replication is available in the Powerstore. So if you have customers looking for synchronous replication, then at this moment it's not possible from the box, but you can still look at Metro node as well, of course. Also important to know is if you want to direct attach servers to the Powerstore unit, at this time it is only possible with fiber channel. That's also a difference with the next one I will introduce. So direct attach, only fiber channel, block storage, I mean, and async replication only. On the other hand, your deduplication process is offloaded using Intel Quick Assist, which is really an important performance boost for the system in total. So Powerstore, I already talked about the federation option. So you can scale it out. You make a cluster of multiple appliances. That's what you can see on top of this screen. And you'll get the inline data reduction, which is offloaded from the CPU and the RAM, which is very important to know. Also, a Powerstore comes with a 4-to-1 data reduction guarantee from Dell. You need to make sure that, of course, during ordering process, you need to look at terms and conditions for the customers, because if you look at media files you cannot compress or deduplicate. So those files will not be applicable in the data reduction. But yeah, all other stuff comes. It's actually possible to have a 4-to-1 at least and more data reduction. Now, if you look at the next system, we already know for a couple of years is the Unity box, of course. So if we saw the first slide where you have a Unity, the Powerstore, and a PowerVault, you see that the Unity is in between. So it's mid-range storage. What is different from Powerstore? That is Unity XT, you can choose between an all-flash system or a hybrid. And a hybrid, I mean, you can still use spinning drives. You can add 3 tiers of disks if you would like in a Unity box. So if you need spinning disks and you need performing system, then you need to look at Unity, of course. You can also go for an all-flash system, an all-flash Unity XT. It will also offer you inline deduplication, but be aware, the inline data reduction will use the CPU and the memory of the system. If you look at the specifications, of course, of Unity, specifications are quite big. If you compare it to the previous generation, it got a pretty boost, a big boost on the CPU and the RAM to be able to manage the inline data reduction process. That's a very important one. On the other hand, one of the advantages of the Unity systems is that you can use synchronous and asynchronous replication for both block and file storage. So that is really an important feature, but you need to be aware that if you want to use synchronous replication, of course, synchronous replication can only happen if you use a fiber channel. So Synchronous actually requires a fiber channel on Unity. So it's not like synchronous you can use via iSCSI. I think it's on the compellent, you could use it with iSCSI, but it's not possible with the Unity box. So you need to be aware of that. You can also direct attach servers using fiber channel and also iSCSI, which is also a differentiator between to the Powerster, where you can only use direct attach using fiber channel. I already talked about the inline data reduction process, which is a process which you can only run on all flash systems or on all flash pools if you're using a hybrid systems, but it will use CPU and RAM. Next, when we level down actually, and we look at the entry level perspective, we end up with we come to the PowerVault system. And the PowerVault system is a really performing system. But of course, there must be a differentiator between the PowerVault and the Unity, or the PowerVault and the Powerstore. It's pretty difficult between all those power terms, of course, but need to be aware, PowerVault is entry level. It's still, it will remain entry level. It will also offer only block storage. And it only has about 8 GB of RAM per controller. So regarding write caching and read caching, it's a level down. It's compared to a Unity or a Powerstore system. But there are some cases, there are a lot of use cases where you can put in an ME4, a PowerVault system, where it will be very performing, where you can use it without any issue. So if you do not need all those things like deduplication and compression, and you will only be using it for like a virtual machine environment or VDI, maybe video surveillance, then an ME4 is a really right choice for you. It will be limited. It will be limited in caching. If you really need caching, like read cache, you can add some SSD disks, which will be dedicated to do read caching. And of course, you are limited in the number of ports. So that's a limitation on the ME4. So it will be for smaller environment with less servers, unless you will put some switching in between. If you look at connectivity, you can do a direct attach with fiber channel. You can do a direct attach with iSCSI, but you need to keep in mind the limited number of ports, of course. So it will limit your number of servers which will be direct attached. But on the other hand, you can also do a direct attach using SAS, and that's a differentiator to the Powerstore or the Unity, because you can actually direct attach it via SAS to a Dell server with a SAS HBA. So that's also a special case, of course, and it will give you 12 gigabits of on the speed. So it's a really performing system. It will also give you asynchronous replication if you would need it, and the things like thin provisioning are on there, or self-encrypting disks is a possibility. It's supported by VMware. There's no problem there. So it's a really interesting system if you do not need the full-blown performance that you get from a Unity XT or a Powerstore, of course. So let me get to the next slide. Talk about replication. So a lot of customers from the SC, they are using like live volume, which is actually like a metro solution active they call it. But what is actually the difference between all those replication terms? In fact, if you look at asynchronous replication, what will happen is actually that you will send data to the mirror system on a periodical system. So it will do like a 5-minute or half an hour of every hour. It will send an update to the DR site. So the DR site will remain semi up to date, of course. So if you look at it, RPO, RTO, DTO, those are the terms. So recover point objective is bigger than 0. Our recover time objective, how much downtime you can afford, is bigger than 0. And decision time objective is actually the time that it will take for you to press the button to fail over to the other system. What this means is, let's say a disaster happens and you need to fail over, then the failover will not happen automatically. There is still somebody that needs to make the decision and press the button to fail over to the other system. So the decision time objective is bigger. If you look at synchronous replication, both systems will be connected to each other with a high capacity link. And that's why on a Unity, we need fiber channel, where you do not have any latency that you can have on a normal network. And asynchronous, actually, the recover point objective is 0 because it will always be in sync. So when we have a downtime at this moment, then the other system is already up to date with the system. So you will not lose like 5 minutes of data or 10 minutes, depending on your settings. So that's a bit of a difference. The only thing is you need a high performing link, because when you do a write to the production site, it will have to be replicated to the DR site before it will send back the acknowledgement that the write happened. So if a server writes data to its drive, then the server will wait until it gets the acknowledgement from the DR site that the DR site is also updated. So if you have a link in there, which is pretty slow, where you have a lot of latency, it will not work. So that's why you actually need fiber channel to have synchronous replication with the Unity, to guarantee that synchronous is actually synchronous. Also, decision time objective, synchronous replication still needs somebody to press the button to fail over to the other side. So that's why decision time objective is also not 0. Then we have an active, like they call, or a metro solution. And a metro solution is actually both systems connected at all times, fully accessible at all times. And what will happen is when one system fails, the link to the second system is still in there. So, and the server will be able to just continue without anyone pressing any button. So the decision time objective is actually 0. Recover point objective is 0 because you do not lose any data because it's always in sync. And the downtime is also 0. So this is a metro solution, and a metro solution will require both systems to be active at all times, connected. And that is what is the difference between async, sync, or metro solutions. And the biggest differentiator of metro is the fact that you do not have to perform any failover or failback, because the system will actually notice that anything is happening, and it will still remain online at all times. So what solution do we offer? Does Dell EMC offer for this metro solution? It's Metro Node, and Metro Node is actually the technology which is existing for a lot of years already, which is built on VPlex technology. And VPlex is actually the high-level active method of Dell EMC to make it happen. The only thing is, Metro Node at this moment requires extra hardware. So if we have your server hosts, your servers available, and you have your storage there, like a Powerster or Unity, and you want to enable Metro to have an always on system, then you will still need to add Metro nodes. It's 2 nodes at each site that you need to add. And at this moment, you also need fiber channel to connect to Metro node. So this is actually the answer at this moment for live volume now. So this is a hardware solution, which is available for the Powerster and Unity at this moment. There are some pretty nice discounts at this moment for a Metro node solution, so it's not very expensive The only thing which is expensive, of course, is if your customer doesn't have a fiber channel network in place, then you still need to have fiber channel network installed as well to make it happen. To give you an idea about communication, I'm not going into detail about this, but this is actually the backside of two metro nodes. So you can see that each metro node has like 4 fiber channel ports, and it also has some direct attached connectivity, and it also has some networking connectivity to go to the one or to the other side. So here you can see that it will take some fiber channel. It will take a lot of fiber channel ports to have it up, to have it connected. The reason why, of course, is easy. It needs to be on at all times. It needs to be reliant. It's actually an enterprise method of giving you the metro an active solution. So this is very important to know. If you want to offer a metro to your customer, then you need to be aware that a fiber channel network needs to be in place or needs to come in place. So this is really important to know at this moment. I need to say, because this is what I heard from the program director, from the program managers. So this is not in any Dell EMC slide at the moment or in any PDF, but in the future, they are looking into making a metro solution software only, integrated in the Powerster manager and the Unisphere, if you look at Unity XT. And also an important one, at this moment, for metro, I told you that you need fiber channel, and they're also looking into adding the possibility to have iSCSI instead of fiber channel, and this will actually make a big difference in pricing, of course, if you're not required to offer your customer additional fiber channel switches. This is something which is on the roadmap, but anything on the roadmap is not certain, of course. It can change, so be aware of that. This is not a guarantee. So looking at migration, if you have an SC series and you want to migrate to a Unity or a Powerster, at this moment we have built-in functionality in the Unisphere of Unity XT to make a simple migration from an SC to a Unity XT. Is actually built into to Unisphere, so it's pretty easy, and it doesn't require any agent to be installed at the moment. Also Powerster, Powerster OS, it also offers the same functionality to make sure you can move from an old SC system to a Powerster. And on the Powerster, you can also use the migration tool to also do migrating from a VNX or a Unity or even an Extreme IO or a PS series system. That's also possible. Let's say your customer has a compellant at this moment, then also you can make an assessment, do an assessment with Live Optics, because recently they added a collector for compellant to the Live Optics tool. And of course, the collector is very important for you to get an idea about the current situation of the customer. So you can have an idea about the capacity there, about the data reduction if there's something configured. And this will give you the best basis to go to the mid-range sizer tool or the power sizer tool to offer your customer a Unity XT or a Powerster instead of his older compellant system. Be aware of that. It's they included it like a couple of months ago already, compellant collector. So it's really nice to have that added to the Live Optics tool as well. And next, and this is also really important to know, probably a lot of partners are certified to do compellant installations themselves. If you as a partner would like to do installation services for a Unity XT or a Powerster, be aware that you need to be certified as well. You need implementation engineers certification for both Unity XT and Powerster, and it's a different exam. So if you didn't take any of those exams yet, first of all, you will have to do an associate training, an exam, and then you get an associate level. And next to that, you need to do another exam for PowerStore or Unity. And this will give you, as a partner, the possibility to do yourself the installation services. If you are not able to do that, or you do not want to invest in any trainings for yourself to do installation services, there are two other options. The first one is Dell EMC Pro Deploy Services. So you will have a Dell EMC do the installation, or VSTech Data can also do the both of Unity XT or other Unity systems as well, and Powerster, because we are certified to do those kinds of installation services. On this slide, you will see the links to get more information about the training and the exam, how to proceed. So be aware of this. And I think I will have to hand over to Karel.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tom. And in the meantime, I received an answer from our joker at Dell EMC, who is indicating that in regards to synchronous replication and the Metro cluster for the Powerstore 500T, that the same functionalities will be available in this system as on the Powerstore 1000 and up. So asynchronous replication will be included, and Metro cluster will be supported.
Yeah,
live.
We'll still have to wait until if synchronous will be available as well, because a lot of customers are already asking for synchronous replication. And if they really require synchronous replication, yeah, then we need to offer them the Unity XT models instead of PowerStore. But maybe I saw it sometime on the roadmap, so we will have to wait for this.
Okay. Sorry for that. Voila, we were here. So now that you know the alternatives you can offer when you approach your install base, let's have a look at some special special program and promotions which you can leverage on. First of all, there's the Power to Win program. Power to Win is a program to support the sales of Unity XT and PowerStore, but they included a specific element to do the swap of ASC to a new Dell EMC storage solutions. And in fact, the program includes the possibility to have or to request a specific pricing, additional discounts, based on the effective capacity of the environment, and including 3-year Pro support mission critical. Pro deploy services will not be included. Now, know that this program is available. I will not go into detail. The only thing you have to do, if you really have an installed base of compellent, and then I think on the larger systems, and you would like to, or you will have to move to a Unity or a PowerStore system, well, you better get in touch with us so that we can talk with Dell and do the requirement steps to see first if your environment or your project complies to the program, and what we can do to give you the special pricing support. So specific approval, case-by-case approval is needed. The program is available for authorized gold, platinum, and titanium Dell partners. And as I said, an application must be done. And of course, as usual, there must be a deal registration approved for your project. But as I said, the best thing to do is get in touch with us, tell us or inform us that you want to migrate a compellent environment to a new Dell storage environment. and then we will work with you and with Dell to see if you can benefit from this Power to Win SC migration program discount. The second option or promotion we would like to talk about is a standard program. It's called the Tech Refresh program, and it's a program which will give you a 2% backend rebate when you successfully replace an older system by a new system, an older Dell EMC system by a new Dell EMC system. And this program is, of course, also available for the SC series, as you can see here. Be aware that this program is only for metal partners, metal Dell partners. So this means gold, platinum, and titanium. Here you see that it is not only valid for the SC system, but it can also be used by for replacing other older technologies by new technologies. Um, Very important. This tech refresh backend rebate is only available on identified serial numbers. So serial numbers identified in the Dell database and also notified or applicable for a tech refresh. Um, from time to time, we receive this information, and most of you, if you have installed base on those systems, received this information from me via email. However, what I would like to suggest is if you have an opportunity where you would like to or you have to replace old EMC systems by a new system, um, let us know, give us the serial number, and we can always double check with Dell EMC if you did not get a pre-warning or a notification on the eligibility for this program. We can, based on the serial number, we can get or reach out to Dell and see if anyhow it is applicable for, or this replacement is applicable for the tech refresh program. Um, Again, a deal registration, an approved deal registration is required, is mandatory. And I will explain this in the following slide. You need to identify the tech refresh while or in the while you initiate the deal registration or afterwards. But anyway, in the deal registration should be marked as a tech refresh opportunity. Otherwise, you may miss this backend rebate. So 3 golden rules for tech refresh. As I said, the serial number must be included in the tech refresh landscape as it is defined here by Dell. If you did not get a warning and you think you have a system that can be replaced, let us know and we will check if it is eligible, yes or no. The deal registration must be submitted and the tech refresh information must be entered. I will come back to this on the slide. And then, of course, the deal registration must be approved and must be attached to the card when we place the order towards Dell. This is the deal registration or one of the deal registration screenshots. In fact, it's 2 times the same screenshot, but indicated twice. And here you can see that on those fields, you need to include specific elements. User case capacity, it says basic hardware and software sale. It's a drop down, so you will have to look up for this information. And then here, that's a very important one. Here with this second line, you identify that it is a hardware refresh. So that's very important when you issue the deal registration. If you ask us to do the deal registration, of course, we will need to get this information from you. So you will need to inform our internal sales person or your internal sales contact about this. Next to this, at the bottom, so as I said, it's the same screen, it's just a copy, but in this fill-in field here, you will have to include the serial number of the original or the old system that will need to be replaced or will be replaced by a new one. So those are the requirements you need to take care of when you issue a deal registration. A second or a follow-up or another program, Tom already mentioned it, is the Smart Value Storage offer. In fact, there are multiple. Now, what is this? This is in fact Dell, who is making a selection of basic configuration on different storage families and already offering this at a additional discount. So if you look at, I will have a look at the different possibilities later on. But what you need to understand is that those smart value bundles are for you a good starting point when you make a configuration for an ME4, a Unity XT, or a PowerVault, because if they make part of a smart value storage promotion or offering, you will be assured that this will be the best price. On top of this, and this is what I highlighted in the yellow rectangle, um, the smart value bundle pricing is special, is an additional discount. Plus, it is cumulative with a deal registration. So if you link a deal registration to a smart value storage offer, you will see that the decrease or your the discount, sorry, will increase, or your buying price will become lower. So um, if you, as I said before, if you would like to create or make a storage solution, go to the OSC quoting tool. You can select Smart Value Flexi Bundles. Here it says a component one. That's a little bit unfortunate because this will go out of life, end of life, of course. But you can select the Smart Value Flexi Bundles. And then once you have the base configuration, you can start adding disks and controllers and CPUs and whatever options you may need to have in your configuration. On the left, everybody will receive the presentation. On the left, you see that we included a screenshot of a video. In fact, Tom and I and some other colleagues, we made a series of short videos, 5, 10, 15 minutes maximum, on different topics, and also on configuring the Powerster in a or as a smart value offer. So if you want to do this, Tom also made an hands-on or an example how you can do this and how you can find it on OSC. So maybe it's a good idea to check this out. Voila. As I said, smart value bundles are available on ME4 with the different labels, interface labels, and the 12 and 24 base unit. They are available with the or for the Powerster 1000, only 2 models for the moment. And of course, they are available for Unity XT all-flash systems. Next to this, there are also smart value bundles for VxRail and data domain. And it has been announced that very soon there will be a smart value bundle for the Powerster 500 in the near future. So I assume this will come in Q2. I think that's the final promotion. Mid-range storage incentive. This also, again, is a promotion which is available for all partners, meaning authorized partners and metal partners, who or by or the program indicates that by selling one of those products which you see here, you will get a US dollar value in return. Um, yeah, with the sales. The US dollar value can change depending on the configuration. So you will have well, it's difficult to announce this in beforehand. We suggest that you use this backend rebate as an extra way to earn some money and not to put it into your price when quoting to the customer, because we do not know in advance what the backend rebate will be. Very important, except for the PowerVault ME4, again, as always, we need to have a deal registration. So for the PowerVault ME4, this is not necessary, but for all the other systems, an approved deal registration must be available, and the deal registration must, of course, be linked to the card or the configuration for which you made, or with who you made the new system. The backend rebate will be paid via Tech Data. Be a little bit patient. We receive those backend rebates uh, always more or less in the middle of the following quarter of your sale. So if you sold this system in April, we will receive, or maybe even in March, the beginning of Q1, we expect to receive the backend rebate by the end of May, early June. So it will come a little bit later than direct. And then last but not least, know that we as Tech Data, we have some demo equipment available. Here you have an overview. So we have a Powerster 3000T. We have some power switches. We have a Unity XT. I think it's an all flash, Tom, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes.
And we even have an older Unity system. We have some older equipment also on PowerEdge and R630. So we are happy to make this available to you. If you would like to um, gain some competences on the system, get some hands-on, if it can help you to generate leads, or even better, if it can help you to convince a partner on a Powerstore technology or a Unity XT technology or another technology, please do not hesitate to contact us. Tom is in the lead for this. You will work with Tom, and he can see how the system can be shipped to you, or to whatever location, and he can help with you to set up the demonstration or the proof of concept you would like to run. As you can see on the top, we've made a dedicated website for the demo unit. So if you click on this link, you will come to the landing page which you see here, and you will be able to fill in an application to get access to one of the demo systems we have in our pool. And also, voila. Tom made a very brief video on configuring or basic installation of the Powerstore 3000, so the demo system we have in-house. And on the left, you see that there is a short video on explaining our demo equipment facilities. I think that's it in regards to the compellent end of life and alternative. Tom, I'm not sure if there are questions.
No, no more
Nope.
questions. Let's see. But if there are any questions, do not hesitate to send us a mail, to
Yep.
contact us. No problem.
You know where to find us. I would like to take the opportunity to announce to you two follow-up webinars. The first one will be on May the 18th and will be dedicated on Dell networking. I think Dell is gaining quite some momentum on the networking market with the open networking strategy. If you would like to understand and learn what it is and why it is so unique, specifically in a VMware environment, how you can win with Dell networking, we would like to encourage you to attend this one. And then on May the 25th, there's a follow-up or another webinar, and this will be on a new product Dell is announcing um, as a SaaS data protection platform. So a cloud-based data protection platform, um, but more on this on the 25th of May. If you would like to subscribe, please send us an email, delemc@techdata.be. You have not seen this because our marketing division is finalizing the invitations. They will drop in your mailbox later this week somewhere, I hope. Thank you very much. I will stop the recording and stop the session here, if you don't mind. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Bye bye.